And a very good Tuesday night to everybody. How's it going? This is the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders, and you're listening to the RCWR Show, Tuesday Night Wrestling Report, coming at you live right now on October 2nd, 2012, 1 minute past 11 o'clock. Do hope everybody had a very safe and fun weekend, as we had got a pretty solid weekend there of NFL, good NFL. Really nice to have our veteran NFLs back. Really glad that they were able to work out that deal. And we saw a vast majority of them go back to the field and calling it right. Definitely was some pretty good games if you were checking out the NFL this weekend. Other than that, yeah, it was definitely probably one of those last few moments, past few days there, to really go out and enjoy some of this good weather, as it's been getting pretty cold. You know what time it is. Winter is officially here, at least over here on the East Coast. So what's up? I hope y'all have had a very good, relaxing week so far. Hopefully you are just getting ready to get over that hump as we're slowly approaching Wednesday, midpoint during the week. Hey, we got a lot to cover on tonight's episode. You know how we do over here on the RCWR Show. As always, we got the chat room that's open. It's loaded up right now. Feel free to jump on in there when you get a chance. You can also interact with us during the course of the show by hitting us up on Twitter at Infinity1Prod, Facebook at Infinity1Productions.com. As always, we will interact with you through those tools of social media during the course of this episode, so feel free to utilize those. Hey, you're not in front of your computer tonight, you're checking it out on your smartphone, mad shout out to you. And remember, you can always call into the show if you just want to kick back and you want to listen. All you got to do is just kick back, smile, and dial, and you can call us at 646-478-3525. Once again, that's 646-478-3525. Be able to check out the shows wherever you are, like some of our loyal listeners do. So we got a jam-packed episode tonight. We're going to get you guys covered on the latest fallout from WWE Raw this past Monday night, as it was good old JR, Jim Ross, Appreciation Night. And we'll get you all covered in the very latest and what all has been happening in wrestling-related news. And, hey, in case you might have missed that memo or you haven't checked out a few episodes in a while, we got a special contest that's happening right now as we make our way to our 100th episode coming up October 23rd. We're going to be giving away, we must have lost our minds over here, we're going to be giving away a limited edition copy of WWE 13. You probably are like, huh? Yes, I will definitely share with you the details on how you can win your copy. Now, one last thing before we jump right into it, I am very well aware that there was a series of shows that had aired Monday night on Blog Talk Radio sometime around the 11 o'clock hour, possibly going into 1 in the morning, that had experienced severe problems on Blog Talk Radio server, and as a result of that, a lot of shows had unfortunately had to abruptly end their show. So hopefully the heavens will be in our favor tonight, but I just thought I'd let you guys know, just in case we happen to go off the air. It's nothing that we did over here at our end. It'll be a Blog Talk Radio issue. We'll definitely try to get back going as quickly as we can if we have any type of server problems, but from what I've been able to hear, for the most part, everything has been on point throughout the day, going all the way up into us coming on live right now. So just bear that in mind. Just thought I'd let you guys know. I know we had a lot of fans that were panicking the other night because they weren't able to check out their favorite shows. All right, so let's go on ahead and let's jump right into it. So this past Monday Night Raw, we had got Jim Ross Appreciation Night, as Raw was coming to us live from Oklahoma City, and we had got a recap of everything that had transpired from the week prior, as our show, it kicked off once again with the WWE Champion, CM Punk, coming into the ring with Paul Heyman, and we would hear CM Punk take cheap shots at the C Nation leader, John Cena, for hitting him with that steel pipe, and felt that he was nothing more than a coward, that he did not show the WWE Champion the proper respect that he felt that he deserved. And he also had talked about how he thought that he saw a nasty look on the face of the hardcore legend Mick Foley as he had crossed paths with him backstage, and he swore that the hardcore legend had said something derogatory under his breath, and that's why CM Punk had attacked Foley, and he was getting ready to go back, get him some more. But notice right here how at this point CM Punk, at the start of the show, he did not mention Ryback. It was kind of like one of those type of deals where, for CM Punk at least, that little face-off didn't happen. I just loved how CM Punk just went totally around Ryback. As Paul Heyman, he soon takes control of the scenario that's in the ring, and he wants to chime in some of his thoughts as well, as he talks about the slap that AJ had gave to him last week when he gave her the proposal of marriage. Now, Paul Heyman would point out, and I loved how they kept it fresh in the minds of the viewers here, because I actually had brought it up last week when we had saw AJ slap Paul Heyman. I said, wait a minute here. What happened to the whole WWE Board of Directors saying that she cannot put her hands on any superstar, any talent? And here we go. We see her put her hands on someone that's not officially a talent in Paul Heyman. He would definitely bring that up and bring to the attention of the WWE fans that letter that had came from the WWE Board of Directors clearly stating that AJ Lee cannot put her hands on a WWE superstar or authority or non-talent. And as a result of this, Heyman feels that he has enough ammunition to get her removed as the Raw general manager. And the fans, they were just livid. They were letting him have it with the boos. Paul Heyman, he capitalized on that. He said, yes, I understand this would create a serious void, and I know that this is a spot that would need to be filled. Who better to fill that spot than Paul Heyman? So Paul Heyman recommending himself for the supposedly vacant position of the Raw GM. But we would see Dolph Ziggler come out with Miss Cougar, Gallente Mamacita, Vicky Guerrero, who comes out, and she would lay claim that if anybody was deserving of becoming the Raw general manager, it should be her. And she would bring evidence to light about that slap that had came to her from AJ, as it was only 2 months ago. Hard to believe, 2 months flown by just like that. Just seems like it was maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago that we saw AJ smack Vicky Guerrero. But we hear all of them, they are just like giving their arguments, trying to say why they feel they should be the general manager, when we see Dolph Ziggler chime in his thoughts and say, you know what, let's all agree on one thing. AJ Lee, she's just unstable. She definitely should not be in charge of Raw. What should really happen is Vicky Guerrero, Paul Heyman, y'all should just be the GMs of Raw and SmackDown. Sounds like a pretty nice idea right here. Well, we see AJ Lee. She comes down to the ring, and she pretty much reveals that the WWE Board of Directors, they are aware of her smacking Paul Heyman, and as a result of that, she is now on a probation status until further notice. So you're kind of looking at this and you're saying to yourself, uh-oh, this isn't too good right here. So from there, we also find out that AJ Lee is having a bit of a coach moderator, someone to help her during the night, let her know what's right, what's wrong, basically give her a semi-job evaluation. Try to help her do a better job, keep her anger in check, all that good stuff. Mr. Stevenson, I believe is his name. Well, AJ Lee, she would take control of her show by letting all these guys know that they are going to be in a tag team match. That's right. We will see the WWE champion CM Punk team up with Dolph Ziggler to take on the newly formed name team of the WWE Tag Team Champions, hell no, Kane and Daniel Bryan. So the main event is set for the night, folks. Now from there, we had also got to see good old JR, Jim Ross, Appreciation Night. And folks, let's just say with regards to this Appreciation Night for Jim Ross, it did not go as planned. Now, if you're kicking back and you're watching this, you're kind of saying to yourself, oh, man, once again, they figured out a way to dick the hell out of Jim Ross. I'm just going to tease you with that. I definitely want to bring it back up later on. But first, I want to get this out the way because I just thought this was really stupid, and I just want to get the silly stuff out the way before we go into the meat and potatoes, which was that Jim Ross Appreciation Night. So let's just put that on the back burner. Let's get the crappy stuff out the way. The World Heavyweight Championship debate. That's right. Booker T was the moderator for this World Heavyweight Championship debate. Now, I don't know about you out there, but when I first heard this name, I'm saying to myself, wait a minute here. What the hell is a World Heavyweight Championship debate? What's to debate about? Has there been some type of a discrepancy with the way the champion has been defending his title? Is the championship now vacant? Debate. What exactly is going on here? And I just got to be brutally honest with you guys. This whole debate with Booker T as the moderator, and he's talking with Sheamus, and he's talking with Big Show, and God, man, this was a very poor segment. I really could not care about this. It was definitely a epic fail for me because, number one, we saw Big Show who really was not even touching his podium, and it just collapsed. I mean, it just fell apart like good tender meat off of a chicken bone when it's cooked just right. I mean, it was just like he could have just blew air at the podium and it just fell apart. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And not to mention the questions that were being asked, it was just stupid. What's more devastating, the WMD or the bro kick? Who cares? I mean, the questions that were being selected, I really just could not get into this. And I can understand what creative was trying to execute here. And I don't really feel it was too much of a knock to Sheamus. Definitely not too much of a knock to the Big Show, as I like their exchange of dialogue. Yet, at the same time, I didn't really like the way Sheamus was coming off, as he was basically overlooking Big Show. He was making the jokes, talking about how he lost the championship in 45 seconds, and then he would actually beat that man that beat Big Show in just 18 seconds. So you're hearing all this, and Sheamus, he's just overlooking Big Show, just continuing to take jabs at him, the 45-second man. And I'm just seeing this, and we're seeing Big Show who's telling Sheamus, look, you can't overlook me. Do not make fun of me. I'm a serious threat. You really need to take me very seriously right now. And we just saw Sheamus just with the jokes over and over and over again. And finally, it didn't start to get real until those last few seconds there, where we see Sheamus, he's finally getting into the face of the Big Show. And, you know, that's what I had wanted from the get-go, to really try to reel me into this match. Now, if you were checking out the weekend edition of the RCWR show this past Saturday, you definitely know how I feel about Big Show versus Sheamus. I'm not exactly too thrilled about it, but nonetheless, at least it's somewhat of a new rivalry as these two are going to be getting it on for the first time. Hey, I'm all sold for that. But I just felt that this whole debate thing, it was just not needed. It should have been an entirely different format altogether. Maybe it's the name that throws me off. Maybe they could have called it something else. Maybe they could have just said Big Show, Sheamus, square off one-on-one with Booker T interviewing them both or something like that. I would have preferred that than a World Heavyweight Championship debate. But in either case, if you want to try to look at that particular segment and say, okay, did either one of them have some type of momentum coming out of that segment? Not really, in my honest opinion. It was pretty much a stalemate right there. And like I said, with regards to the Twitter questions that was coming from the fans, the Twitter questions, of all the questions to ask, they definitely could have came up with a better batch. I know I actually personally had sent a tweet to Booker T, and I had thought this was a really cool question to ask. I said, hey, when you ask Sheamus and Big Show, who would they like to give their respected finishers to in this primary race for the presidency? Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, or Obama and Biden? Which one you want to give that knockout blow to more? I thought that would have been a pretty awesome question, because I know usually around this time, WWE, they have that notorious reputation for dipping into the politics, telling all the fans to get out there and vote, all that good stuff. They try to put that respected coverage of it. I'm surprised it hasn't happened just yet. Maybe it'll actually come more into fruition when November hits. But definitely I didn't really care too much for that particular segment. Let's talk about this Jim Ross Appreciation Night. Now, this was a moment right here that was definitely awesome as we see Michael Cole, who's continuing to be the babyface announcer. Notice how since Jim Ross has been back, Michael Cole, he really has not been taking any type of personal jabs at Jim Ross. He's just been coming off very cool. I mean, there's really nothing you can say bad about Michael Cole. And we see him, he calls Jim Ross into the ring, and the two of them, they're talking. And Michael Cole, he's asking Jim Ross, how does it feel to have been in the WWE this long and be in front of his home city in Oklahoma that night, as it's Jim Ross Appreciation Night. But all of a sudden, the WWE champion crashes the scene. That's right, CM Punk. He comes down here. You're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, especially if you're a JR fan, you're saying, not again. And for those of you that are kind of like, huh? Well, Jim Ross might have came a little bit before you there, especially if you've just been watching WWE now within recent years. You might not know that much about Jim Ross. Well, we got you covered. As Michael Cole had said perfectly, Jim Ross has been a commentator, Hall of Fame commentator at that. He's been in the business for just over 3 decades. He spent a good chunk of that time in the WWE calling some of the greatest matches, some of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history. And we see Jim Ross, who time after time after time, again, is always being the in-butt joke of the WWE. Every single time Jim Ross usually pops up, something bad always happens. Either it's the join the Mr. McMahon Kiss My Ass Club, or it's Jim Ross being put in some type of a ridiculous segment. Let's not forget that one segment he was in, I believe it was 2 years ago, where we actually had saw him get in the ring and he tried to do a spin-a-rooney with Booker T. That was just so heartbreaking and just cringing to watch. I'm saying to myself, this guy who has such a great appreciation for the business, a great love, a great passion, and he is just hands down one of the best. I mean, he is up there with the elite when it comes to commentators. He can really sell you that story that's happening in that ring, even if it's two bad wrestlers. He can just do such a phenomenal job to make you feel invested into it that you just really come away watching WWE Raw, SmackDown, or a respected WWE pay-per-view just to want to hear JR commentate. And from time to time, we just kept seeing JR put in these ridiculous little segments, like I mentioned, where he's being ridiculed, where he's being humiliated. And you're saying to yourself, when you saw Raw this past Monday night, maybe tonight is the night where we're going to finally see Jim Ross get that proper nod that he deserves, and there's not going to be any jokes, no humiliation. It's just going to be the way that it is, right? No, Mas, that's not even the case. As I said, we see the WWE Champion CM Punk. He comes out, and what was probably what co-producer Tammy thought, and Zed as well, they really were on their hands. They were sitting on their hands paying attention to this, because they really did not like the way Jim Ross was being treated in this segment. Now, I, on the other hand, I didn't like the fact it was happening in the way that it was happening, but I thought it was damn good television as we saw the WWE Champion CM Punk say to Jim Ross, hey, you are the voice of the WWE. You are the one that everybody comes to because they trust you, they believe in you, you hold accountability, you are someone that everybody respects. And he would point out how he wants for the WWE Universe to respect him as well. And he tries to get that validation by saying to Jim Ross, hey, why don't you go on ahead and let everybody know in your home city just who indeed is the best in the world. Tell them that I really am the best in the world. Here we are again seeing the WWE Champion CM Punk looking for some type of validation. Well, with regards to this, we would see Jim Ross sit up and say, no, I can't do that. I'm sorry, but I can't. I won't say that. And CM Punk is livid as he now feels that he's being disrespected by the Hall of Fame announcer. And he just would go on this tirade of mentioning how he probably thinks that men like Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, who CM Punk, he just really had fun with Jim Ross right here as he's sitting up saying, okay, who's going to come out here to help you right now because you're disrespecting me and you're taking it to territory where it doesn't need to go. And he's basically threatening Jim Ross. He's letting him know that he's pretty much going to kick his ass around the ring, saying, hey, where's your good friend? Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. And I know as we were interacting with some of y'all on Twitter, some of y'all were like, oh, my God, this would be our mark moment right now if Stone Cold were to actually come out and confront CM Punk. I know you guys were reaching there. That definitely would have been a great moment to have him come in, but it would not happen. So from there, we actually ended up seeing Jim Ross just continue to say to the WWE Champion that he's not going to say that he's the best in the world because he has seen a lot of greats, and he mentions the Stone Colds, the Shawn Michaels, the Undertakers, the Triple H's, points out how they went in, night out, they did what they needed to do, and they did not look for that title, best in the world. They earned it. It was given to them. That's what respect is all about, and Jim Ross tells the WWE Champion that if he wants that long-awaited respect that he feels is overdue, then he needs to do the right thing, take on John Cena at Hell in a Cell, and beat John Cena. Only then will CM Punk be able to lay claim to the best in the world. And Jim Ross told him straight up, he will be a man, and he will be the first person in line to shake CM Punk's hand, look him dead in the eyes, tell him he's the best in the world. Well, CM Punk, not too pleased with what Jim Ross had to say, as from there, he tries to stop Jim Ross from leaving the ring, as Ross wanted to go back to commentating. We actually see CM Punk grab Jim Ross's arm, tell him he cannot go back to commentating, wants him to put his hands up and fight. But Jim Ross, he's not doing it. You want to talk about adding insult to an injury. As we all know, Jim Ross is a big fan of Cowboy star John Wayne. We know how he loves wearing his cowboy hats. We see CM Punk, he takes that hat off, puts it on the ground, stomps on it, tells the WWE Hall of Fame announcer he cannot go back to commentating. He's done for tonight. Put his head down, walk out the ring, get out of the arena. He's done. And we actually see Jim Ross like a little coward. As the WWE champion says, you're not a real man. Real men don't walk away. When we get a WTF moment, folks, that's right, we hear the music of Ryback hit, and we see him come down to the ring. And special shout-out to that kid that had asked after only 30 minutes of Raw being on the air, what's the point of watching, what's the point of having Ryback show up and do that angle with CM Punk last week if they weren't going to do it this week? Hey, kid, you were only watching Raw at this point for 30 minutes. You still had a long way to go before you got to this segment, so hopefully you stuck around and you know exactly who you are. Wink, wink. And we see Ryback come on down to the ring. No words are being spoken, and he just gets right into the face of the WWE champion as the two of them are just staring at one another for what seemed like ages. And then we finally see the WWE champion actually walk out of the ring. So what happened with this big talk of don't be a coward, basically, real men don't walk away, all that? Well, we see the WWE champion walking away with his tail tucked in between his legs. Now, this definitely, I must admit, I'm looking at this, I still stand behind what I said on the RCWR show over the weekend about Ryback, because we really went in depth with this guy. I still stand behind what I said, but I must admit, I love the way how WWE is handling it. I mean, they've been doing a phenomenal job with the way Ryback has been used as of late, and I must admit, I'm very curious to see what these two guys could do, but at the same time, there's still that part of me that's saying, you know what, Ryback isn't ready. Well, maybe unfortunately, whether Ryback is ready or not, we're probably at the point right now where Ryback is just going to have to try to get ready, and I don't think it would be fair to sit up and have high expectations of Ryback being able to wrestle a 8 out of 10 star match against a champion, against a wrestler like a CM Punk or a Daniel Bryan or Sheamus. I don't think it would be fair. I mean, we've seen what this man is capable of in the ring. He still has a long ways to go. He is not quite up there with a Dave Bautista as far as in-ring ability. He's not quite up there with a Brock Lesnar's in-ring ability. He still has a ways to go. Who knows? Maybe by working with CM Punk, maybe he can possibly get up to that next level. Now, is this something that we're probably going to be seeing at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view? It sure is looking like it could happen. I mean, at this point, we are really going into some uncharted territory right now, and it's just one of those type of deals where, unfortunately, you just got to really kick back and you just got to watch and see what happens. I mean, we got the pay-per-view. It's at least about almost a month away. Anything can happen right now. I would think that matches for the pay-per-view would start being announced, if not next Monday night, definitely the week after, because they really got to start pushing hard to sell it here. But I must admit, I'm definitely intrigued with this CM Punk Ryback angle. Let's see where it goes. Of course, we got to talk about what other matches had happened during the course of Monday Night Raw, As check this out, we had got some pretty awesome matches during the episode. We had saw Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara team up to defeat Epico and Primo as there was a number one contender tournament for those tag team championships as they'll be on the line at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We had saw the primetime players actually come out, and they didn't really do too much. They just came out to watch the match, as it was also revealed during this match by Michael Cole and Jim Ross that Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd will be taking on the team of Santino and Zack Ryder this Wednesday on the series premiere of the main event on the Ion channel. If you do not know what the Ion channel is, if you've never watched that channel before, now is your time to try to see if you have that. I know depending on the cable provider, it's not usually considered a basic channel. So best of luck to you. See if you have that. If not, maybe you can check out the episodes on YouTube, or maybe you could check it out eventually on Hulu. As WWE, they did form that new partnership. Of course, we'll definitely tell you a little bit about that later on in the show. But I'm definitely looking at this, and I definitely can't wait to see how this main event plays off. Of course, we'll definitely have a review for it this Saturday on the RCWR Show, so definitely you want to check that out. Of course, we also saw Antonio Cesaro in action as he had an impressive victory over the Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay. I was amazed that he was able to pick up Brodus Clay and nail him in that finisher. I'm not quite sure what he's calling it. I believe I used to know the name, or maybe it hasn't been named yet. I'm not really sure. But I'm looking at that move. I would call that the nail spiker. I just like the way he sets those opponents up and he just nails them into the mat like that. I just think that's pretty awesome. We also saw The Miz in action as he had took on Zack Ryder. He did defeat him, by the way. Also, we saw Ryback and Tensai. Now, keep in mind, the Ryback versus Tensai match, that had happened before the kickoff of Jim Ross Appreciation Night. And this is very funny right here. I just have to mention this. So we see an awesome match between Ryback and Tensai on Friday Night SmackDown. And if you didn't watch Friday Night SmackDown, you missed a very well-produced, very well-executed episode. My honest opinion, they've just been on a great streak within recent weeks, but last Friday was definitely on point, especially since we had that great match between Beth Phoenix and Natalya Neidhart. It was definitely one of the best Diva matches I've seen all year, and actually quite a good number of years. That's how good that match was. We saw these two bulls. They got it on. It was a damn impressive match, and now here we are for this past Monday night. We see the two of them in a rematch, and so you're kind of looking at this and you're saying to yourself, okay, can they capture the magic twice? Well, we saw some botched moves in there, not once, not twice, but at least three times. And it looked as if it was all coming from Ryback. Now, we all know how Ryback loves to grab his opponent, put him over his shoulder, and he does that walk around the circle before he does that back body drop. Well, we saw Ryback try to pick up Tensai a few times, and it just looked like one of the times his back went out. The other time he was able to pick him up, he just dropped him the wrong way. The third time, it looked like Tensai, he just really was not trying to do the move. And we actually saw Ryback win another way. Now, some people kind of pointed out that it looked as if Tensai was kind of sandbagging the finisher, trying to make Ryback look a little weak there. And I know some people were joking around and they said, there goes Ryback's push. But as we saw later on in the night, we saw him make that appearance for the Jim Ross Appreciation Night segment. You know, I just think that it's amazing how we could look at something like that went down with Tensai and the type of reaction that he had got when he came out to the aid of Jim Ross. WWE, they have just been very smart with the way that they have been utilizing Ryback. He has just been fitting so perfectly into the right type of scenarios. It does not feel as forced as when Mason Ryan was being shoved down our throats. I think if you go back, and you guys definitely appreciate what I'm saying here, you definitely will feel me on this when I say if you go back and you compare how Mason Ryan was being pushed to how Ryback is being pushed, you could definitely come away saying to yourself, you know what, yeah, Ryback, they've definitely been putting him in the right type of circumstances. Nice progression they've been making with him. I was just amazed at how quickly the fans had just forgot about the botch match that he had with Tensai, because I know if I would have been there in attendance, I actually would have been kind of booing Ryback a little bit. I mean, that's just me. For those of you in the chat room right now, are you hearing a lot of static at your end? Because I'm just hearing a lot of static at my end. It sounds pretty bad over here. If it's not that brutal, let me know. I'm just going to keep going through it, and then maybe we can kind of adjust it a little bit during the commercial break. I just know it's nothing over here at our end, but we're pretty good. All right, let's continue now. And we also saw Eve Torres as she had defeated Beth Phoenix. And I definitely was a little bit sad to see Beth Phoenix lose. I'm saying to myself, man, she just came off of a really great, impressive match against Natalya. Now we got to see her lose to Eve. But, you know, really cool right here. During this match, we had actually saw a tout video from Eve, who was hyping up the Divas division, hyping up that match between Beth and Natalya, basically sucking up to the WWE Divas, sucking up to the WWE Universe. And you're looking at this and you're kind of saying to yourself, okay, whatever, Eve. But you know what? Eve, Beth Phoenix, this past Monday night, they definitely had a very solid match. I wanted it to last a little bit longer. That was my only thing. We also saw Heath Slater take on Santino, and this match actually ended in I believe it ended in a DQ. So Santino actually picked up the victory, as we saw Heath Slater joined by Encore teammates Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. In case you might have missed it, the three of those guys, they are a bit of a stable here, as they have formed Encore. And they just proceeded to beat the living hell out of Santino before grabbing the mic and all basically saying the same thing. As Drew McIntyre, he proclaims that he's still the chosen one. We see Jinder Mahal, he pretty much says the same thing. Heath Slater, he says he's the one-man rock band. I am still just baffled at what is it exactly that has these men together, but I don't know, man. It sounds pretty, I don't know about that one. And Matt, shout out to Dave in the chat room who say, yeah, I am breaking up a little bit. I don't know what's going on with you guys. Hopefully it's not to the point where it's really messing up the flow of the show. As long as you guys are able to hear everything that I'm saying, then cool. I'll definitely try to see if maybe we could do a little something at our end. But as I said at the top of the show, Blog Talk Radio, they had some serious server problems last night, and a lot of people were not able to do their show. So we'll definitely stay up to date on this. And I don't know, maybe during the commercial break, because I do have the ability to listen to the last few minutes of what we were doing live on the air. And I'll just go based off of that. And if it sounds pretty freaking bad, then we might just end the show really freaking early, and maybe we could try to see if we could pick it back up on Thursday. But let's finish up now, because we're almost done talking about Raw here. We also saw Sheamus take on Damian Sandow, as Cody Rhodes was at ringside commentating. That's right, it was the Rhodes Scholars, as I like to call them. And we actually saw Cody Rhodes try to come to the aid of Damian Sandow during this match, but Sheamus was able to deliver a double. He was able to deliver a double bro kick, and he was able to pick up the victory right there. Of course, in our main event, we saw Team Hell No take on the team of CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler. Now, we actually had got a special guest referee in the lovely AJ Lee after she had some intense words to say with Mr. Stevenson, as in a backstage skit, she told him that basically, hey, look, you aren't exactly a team player type of guy here. I don't want to be taking advice from someone who really doesn't know what it's like to be in the type of a position that I have. Why don't you get out there and won't you maybe call a match or something? She pretty much just dismisses this guy in a nutshell. So you know by this move it's probably going to have some severe ramifications from the WWE Board of Directors next week. Meantime, AJ Lee, she was the special guest referee for this match. You know, we actually saw Dolph Ziggler, unfortunately, leave this match as we saw the WWE Champion have to fend it alone. And eventually the impressive team of Daniel Bryan, Kane, Team Hell No, they would actually end up picking up a victory over the WWE Champion. How about that, folks? Raw ending with the tag team champions of the world. Been a long time since Raw ended on a tag team note. Definitely was a very solid night right there. You know, of course, we also saw Alberto Del Rio in action with Kofi Kingston. Del Rio was able to pick up a victory right there. I love how just a week prior we saw Kofi Kingston. He had a phenomenal match with Dolph Ziggler. And what did I say last week, folks? I said it's with that intensity that he had with that match against Ziggler that he needed to take with him going forward. And it just seemed like we were just watching the usual Kofi Kingston, who I believe had tapped out to Alberto Del Rio in just a matter of seconds. But, you know, overall takeaway, definitely a very solid episode of Raw this past Monday night. Definitely was a lot of great moments to check out. You know, the 3 hours, it wasn't actually that bad. It was actually pretty decent. All right, this is what we're going to do right now. We're going to take a very brief commercial break, and I think one is definitely needed because I need to figure out what exactly is going on with this static problem here, and then we'll come right back, and we'll jump into a little bit of wrestling-related news if we have the time, because I'm actually going to play back some of this audio. I'm going to try to hear exactly what you guys are hearing, and if it's not that bad, we'll definitely finish up the show. If not, then we'll definitely just end it a little bit early. And, you know, hopefully we can definitely continue to do the show. Definitely wouldn't mind getting some of you all's reactions. So we'll take that brief commercial break right now, and we'll be coming right back. And be about 3 minutes or less to tell you guys about that cool contest that we got going on right now. So do hang tight. We'll be coming right back, folks, 3 minutes or less. You're listening to the Tuesday Night Wrestling Report edition of the RCWR Show, coming your way October 2nd, 2012. We'll be back, folks. Hang tight.
Tired of those wrestling websites that give you redirects, spyware, weird pop-ups? How about those misleading headlines? Instead of hitting the keyboard in frustration, why not visit InfinityOneProductions.com? Infinity One is the source for wrestling-related news and so much more without all the hassle. Visit InfinityOneProductions.com. Your keyboard will thank you.
Hey guys, Lee Sanders here with the RCWR Show, and I'd like to take this time out to tell you about one or two quick apps that I think you should check out when you get a free moment. First app I'd like to recommend to you is the app from Stitcher. Now, Stitcher allows you to be able to play all our episodes of the RCWR Show and Impact Showdown on your portable devices, such as an Android phone, Kindle Fire, iPad, you name it, it'll be able to play it. So definitely highly recommend that you check that out. It's available for free in the App Store. Stitcher, new and smart way to play radio. Also, another cool app that I'd like to recommend to you all is a new app that came out not too long ago from Apple. That's right, Apple has recently come out with a free podcast app. Now, this app is really cool, folks, because after we are done doing our shows, all you have to do is just subscribe to our episodes. And you can do this by downloading this new free podcast app. All you have to do, visit the App Store, on your iPhone or iPad and just search podcast. Once the app is downloaded, you can then type in the name of our shows, the RCWR Show and Impact Showdown, and you'll be able to subscribe. It's that easy. So you have 2 cool free apps that you can check out and take all our episodes with you on the go. So get to it already.
All right, and we're back. You're listening to the RCWR Show, Tuesday Night Wrestling Report. Yeah, so we're back, guys. So we're definitely going to do a few more minutes because the static feedback that I'm hearing is definitely getting on my nerves. Luckily, not that much has been happening in wrestling-related news. So we'll go on ahead and we'll wrap it up here and just talk about the contest that we got coming up. Briefly go over some headlines that had jumped out at me there, and then we'll wrap up the show. So I apologize. Usually we definitely do like 90 minutes solid over here, but it's just too much distortion over here, and I want you guys to actually be able to kick back and actually enjoy the episode. We checked out everything over here at our end. Everything's working fine, connection, all that, equipment, everything's fine over here. It is looking like it is a Blog Talk Radio issue, so we humbly apologize for those of you that's used to getting that 90-minute fix, but it looks like we're going to be ending this episode just at about close to an hour, maybe just a couple of minutes past an hour. So, hey, that's all right. We got another show that's coming up Thursday night. Maybe Blog Talk will be back up and have all of this stuff fixed by then. Who knows? So let me tell you about this really cool contest that we got going on. In case you don't know, in case you might have missed it, we're giving away, and we must have lost our minds because we're giving away a free limited edition copy of WWE 13. That's right. We're giving away a copy of WWE 13, limited edition copy, and it's really badass that we're doing this. Now, let me tell you how this contest is working right here. So, if you go to our website over at InfinityOneProductions.com, we got a donate button. All you got to do is donate $1. That automatically gets you into the contest. The other way you can access the donate tab is by going to blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR Show. Scroll all the way down to the gray tab button that says Extras. When you click on that, you'll see the donate tab. You can click on that, and once again, $1, that gets you into the contest. We'll be having the drawing of that lucky winner who will receive that limited edition copy of WWE 13, the Stone Cold Steve Austin edition, for their respective platform on our 100th episode of the RCWR Show. And here's the really cool thing that I love about this contest. For the folks that aren't the winner, here's what's really awesome. All the money that you will be donating to us from just that $1, we're going to gather up all those dollars, and whatever the whole amount is come that 100th episode, we're actually going to go into our pockets, all of us here, all of us, me, lovely co-producer Tammy, Zed, the help that we have for the website, the staff that we have over there, all of us are going to dig into our pockets, and we're actually going to double that amount. Really awesome. And we're going to double it and give it to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, as all this month it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So really worthy cause that we got going on right here. Pretty awesome thing. Definitely can't stress it enough. Get on in on this, because after this contest is over, it's going to be a good while before we do another contest like this. So best of luck to you. Hope that you're able to win. You know, speaking about winning, we definitely got to give a shout out to our contest winners who we had selected as our loyal listeners, as it was just on our WWE Night of Champions post show where we had picked 2 random loyal listeners, and those listeners ended up being Dave from Pawpaw, Michigan, and our boy Tony, Homie the Clown, up on Twitter from San Antonio, Texas. Both of them, we had offered them a crack at our stash over here of DVDs, and they had picked Rock versus Cena as their prize. And if you get ready to go on our Facebook page, you'll actually be able to see it in a few minutes right after we get done uploading the episode. You'll actually see the pictures on our Facebook page of them. They're showing off, and you know, I like the pictures that they sent, though, of them holding the DVDs because they got this look going on. I don't mean to pick on you guys, but y'all got this look going on. You know, y'all should be smiling and everything, but y'all kind of got this GQ look going on like, I want a DVD. Yeah. You know, it's kind of, this is badass, you know. I was picking on you guys. You know, I love you guys. But, yeah, you know, we got 2 winners right there. So, I mean, this is the real deal. I know we have some people that are kind of like, you can actually win something just for listening. Yeah, that's what a lot of radio shows do, and we're definitely one of those shows that's into the mix right there. So it just goes to show you that, you know, we do award loyal listeners. We do try to show some love for our listeners. So best of luck to you for that WWE contest. Hopefully you'll be able to win it. And we got some special guests that's going to be rolling by on that 100th episode, as I'll be joined by the famous Justin Reno. And I'll be joined by hip-hop Christian rapper Scooter. It's going to be a 3-man panel, as we'll be teaming up with the lovely co-producer Tammy. And we're just going to be celebrating the 100th episode. Of course, we'll definitely be talking a bit of wrestling, but it's pretty much going to be a celebration. So make sure that you're able to join us for that 100th episode coming up October 23rd. And the hits don't just stop there. No. Also, and we're announcing this for the first time tonight, after the WWE Hell in a Cell pay-per-view on October 28th, join us as we'll be making another rare Monday night appearance immediately following Raw, as we'll be covering the Raw post Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. That's right, we're going to be covering all the fallout from that night's Monday Night Raw. So definitely it's going to be an awesome jam-packed month for the RCWR show. Also, real quickly, I just want to take the time out to thank those of you, the listeners, for making the entire month of September be a very good month for us. Definitely a very, very, very good month, as we've been paying attention to the downloads. We've been paying attention to the listens. We've been on the air for almost 8 months, and, man, you made the month of September be significantly our best month yet since we've been on the air, and for that we humbly thank you. Whether you check out the shows live, especially on the downloads, the subscriptions, we definitely appreciate it. Our Stitcher family, mad shout out to you guys. Also, mad shout out to those of you that check it out on YouTube. Definitely been a very good month for us. We definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate all y'all that had checked out the Weekend Report edition from this past Saturday, as we were just all over the place on that episode. We were talking about wrestling. We were talking about music. Y'all showed your love by checking that episode out. Definitely. Hey, I love it when we get to do the weekend edition of the RCWR show. Hey, let's end out on a very high note, and let's briefly talk about what's been happening, wrestling-related news. I definitely want to share with you a few headlines that kind of jumped out at me in case you might not be aware of it. One of the headlines that jumped out at me here as we were getting ready to come on the air, and we actually had reported it. It's on our website right now. You guys remember Sean Davari, the guy that used to team up with Muhammad Hassan, and they were doing all those awesome, intense segments that just had the FCC and everybody just on edge because they were just saying some really hot stuff just fresh off of the whole September 11 attacks and all that. Well, Sean Devari, he made headlines last week because he was on this train minding his own business, train going to Minnesota, and there was this irate passenger that was on there, and he was just livid. I mean, the guy was just saying racial remarks, just derogatory things, and I know one guy, he tried to, an innocent bystander, mind you, he tried to tell the guy, hey, won't you sit down and just enjoy the ride because you're making everybody feel uncomfortable. And this irate passenger, he just started flipping the fuck out, and he's telling the guy, look, you're not going to tell me what to do, and he basically threatened to do bodily harm to this man. Well, we saw Devari, he pretty much had enough. He pretty much grabbed this guy, and he put him in a chokehold and just made this guy pass out until local authorities were able to come and take control of the situation. Now, Devari, he was nice enough to do a exclusive interview with WWE.com, and he had told them exactly what all had happened. Just to get a taste of the article, go check it out on our website, and if you like what you're reading about it, everything that he has to say in his own words, then click on the link that'll take you directly to the WWE.com article. But I was just checking this out, and I'm like, wow. And you just see how Devari looks. I mean, this guy is ripped. I mean, he just has an awesome physique. I mean, it seems like ever since he left WWE, he's just been in this whole process of just reshaping his body, and he just looks freaking amazing. I mean, he almost looks like he has Muhammad Hassan's body, and it's like somebody just chopped off the heads and they just did a switcheroo or something like that. But, I mean, he just looks to be in phenomenal shape, and, yeah, I bet he would choke out a guy. I mean, the guy is ripped. I mean, he's got veins everywhere, even in his abs. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. Another thing that had jumped out at me was this new partnership that WWE has with Hulu. Now, I know some of y'all might not be aware of Hulu. Let me tell you a little something about Hulu. Now, I think that it's very good that WWE has partnered up with Hulu, as you'll be able to check out edited episodes of Raw, and you'll be able to check out other cool stuff. But see, here's the thing. After WWE content, there's pretty much really nothing left for you to do on Hulu. Now, you can try Hulu out for a week. It's free for a week. After that, they start charging you $7.99. That's the only way you're going to be able to keep tabs on the WWE content that is up on Hulu. So the real question you have to be asking yourself, do you really want to pay for all that content that you could possibly access on Netflix and on YouTube? That's the real question that you got to be saying to yourself right now. And I know Netflix is becoming a little bit nervous with WWE making this transition to Hulu, as remember, it was reported initially that Hulu was going to be approached for possibly a soft launch for WWE's network. Well, that's not going to be the case. Now they're just looking at Hulu, and they just want to treat it as another outlet for WWE's respected programming. So, I'm a little bit on the fence with this. I've had Hulu before. I had Hulu for like about a year, and there really was not that much content I was able to check out on there, and it just felt like a wasted $7.99. And I mean, don't just take my word for it. My girlfriend will tell you the same thing. Between Hulu and Netflix, you get more kicks out of Netflix. So, if you were to ask me straight up, well, Lee, is Hulu a really good thing to check out, especially if you're a WWE fan? It really just depends. I mean, number one, do you have $7.99 that you want to just blow away on a monthly basis? Because if so, then knock yourself out. It's your money. But honestly, I would say unless there is going to be some exclusive content that will only be available on Hulu and you pretty much need a subscription to check it out, then I would, unless you see that scenario, I would say pass on Hulu right now until they get some exclusive stuff for that website and just stick to the YouTube, WWE's website. That's pretty much your bulk and potatoes right there. Speaking of bulk, we are really getting a ton of wrestling now. It is just ridiculous. I was thinking about this the other day, folks, and I'm saying to myself, man, so we got Monday Night Raw. Tuesday, we got NXT/FCW. Wednesday, we've got the main event. Thursday, we've got Superstars. Friday, we've got SmackDown. Saturday, we've got Saturday Morning Slam. And, of course, we got the Sundays once a month where there's going to be a pay-per-view. So you might as well say 7 days a week we get our WWE fix. That is a lot of freaking hours of wrestling. Oh my God, I can't even begin to. I'm just going to tease this a little bit because it's definitely something that I'm going to be talking about on this Saturday's RCWR Show Weekend Report, which is, are we getting too much WWE? I mean, you just think about everything that I just said there, and you combine that with all those little shows that they have on their YouTube channel, Santino's Exchange, Backstage Fallout, and all those other shows. Are you serious? Is it too much? Definitely very interesting question, very valid question. We definitely are going to go into a more in-depth look on this. I'll definitely give you my takeaway about it. You'll definitely like it. It's going to be pretty awesome. But, yeah, 7 days a week, we got WWE programming. I mean, just pretty much flip the channel on and, boom, you got it right there. Wow, just amazing when you think about it, when you compare to how it was just, 10, 15 years ago. It was pretty much Monday, Friday, Sunday, maybe some Saturdays, but times have changed big time. Other thing that jumped out at me was the WWE Raw ratings for this week, as we do have those ratings for you. And unfortunately, Raw did very bad, folks. That's right. Raw only did a 2.5 this week, and it is being dubbed as the worst rating for a WWE Raw episode in, get this, folks, 15 years. That's right, in 15 years. Can you believe that? Now, we had covered the ratings on the RCWR Show Weekend Report this past weekend. If you had missed it, don't worry, we definitely got your monthly recap. I definitely want to go over how they had did for the month of September. So we're going to go on ahead and we're going to mention it to you right now here in a nutshell. Okay, let's pick it up with the beginning of September. I believe the 6th is what we want here. Nope, September 3rd. All right, it goes as follows. September 3rd, 2.83 rating with 4.203 million viewers. Remember, that was the episode CM Punk, Paul Heyman, The Alliance began. September 10th, 2012, they did a 2.83 rating with 4.136 million viewers. That's the episode where, unfortunately, Jerry Lawler suffered the heart attack live on Raw. And we go to September 17th. They did a 2.9 rating with 4.5 million viewers. That's the post-Night of Champions episode. September 24th, 2.72 rating with 3.79 million viewers. And as I said, this past Monday night's Raw, it only did a 2.5 rating with 3.5 million viewers. So Raw closing out the month of September there kind of bad there, and October actually is not kicking off so good. Definitely, it's kind of one of those moments where you're looking at it, you're kind of saying to yourself just what exactly is going on here. As the past 2 weeks, we've gotten some pretty solid episodes of WWE Raw, and I know one of the things that was covered with regards to WWE this week, I don't know if you guys caught this, but Vince McMahon, he recently had some very harsh words to say of SmackDown commentator Josh Matthews. That's right. Now, we did not get to see this, as this was a WWE.com exclusive, as there was a Raw Active segment where Matt Striker was briefly talking with the WWE chairman, and Vince McMahon, he blasted the hell out of Josh Matthews, saying that his commentating skills, it all basically sucked, that he was not pleased with him. And we see Matt Striker, he says to him, so I guess this means Josh Matthews has to go. And Vince McMahon said, yes, indeed. So you're looking at that and you're saying to yourself, ooh, damn. And, you know, quite honestly, I've never really been that much of a fan of Josh Matthews. But, man, to just blast somebody like that on live TV, that is just embarrassing, I feel. And, of course, you know, we were talking about Jim Ross Appreciation Night earlier. I definitely want to let you guys know that after Raw had went off the air, Jim Ross Appreciation Night, it did resume. Vince McMahon had came out. He had some very nice, classy words to say of Jim Ross. We also saw Triple H come out. He said some nice things as well. A few other people had came out, and Jim Ross, he had received a loud standing ovation, and it was definitely a pretty solid moment right there. Good luck trying to find it on YouTube, Daily Motion. It's probably going to be pulled because, you know, that's really a moment right there that was really just for those in attendance. But good luck trying to find it. Definitely a very nice, classy move right there that WWE had did. Nice to know that there was no weird shenanigans that had happened at the end of that. And that's pretty much going to do it. I think we did a pretty solid episode tonight. We covered everything that we were supposed to cover. And we're just 7 minutes past our initial time. So 67 minutes, that's pretty damn good for once. So hopefully next time around we'll be able to do our usual amount that we do, because we usually go 90 minutes hard. But with this whole static problem thing, like I said, it's nothing at our end, but hopefully it'll be resolved by the time we come on the air Thursday night. Speaking of Thursday night, if you're into TNA wrestling, you definitely want to check us out. We got a show, Impact Showdown Radio, that comes on immediately after TNA Impact Wrestling. We're going to get you guys caught up on the fallout. Hey, if you're not able to check out the episode, we got your hookup. We're going to cover what all had happened from top to bottom, give you all that cool fix. You're definitely going to like it. Comes on at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific, right here on blogtalkradio.com and over at our sister website at infinityoneproductions.com. Hey, WWE 13 fans, remember that contest that we got going on, and special little treat that we did for you guys earlier tonight. We actually had posted on our Facebook page all the videos so far of what we were able to gather for the new WWE 13 game. We got a lot of cool video intros. You get to see John Cena. You get to see Lita, classic Shawn Michaels, classic Big Show as Paul Wright. Go check it out because we're going to be adding new WWE 13 content in case you might have not checked it out. We're going to keep adding more content as the release date approaches, so definitely check it out. It's going to be pretty awesome. I've seen just a little taste of what to expect of this game, and I definitely am very pleased with what I'm seeing so far. Hey, we are going to be on a 40-plus hour break, but you know the conversation, the talk of wrestling and entertainment, it doesn't stop here. Go check out infinityoneproductions.com for all the latest in wrestling, entertainment news, more. Definitely keep track with us. Follow us on Twitter at Infinity One Prod, Facebook at Infinity One Productions. Also, be sure to subscribe to us in the iTunes, Zoom marketplaces. Leave a review while you're there. Let us know how we're doing. We do love hearing that feedback from you guys. That's going to do it until Thursday night. I'm the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders, thanks to a very active chat room where we had Dave leading the pack in there. Thanks to all of you that's getting ready to check this out on the downloads and up on YouTube. We'll see you guys this Thursday night for Impact Showdown Radio. And until I hear from you all next time around, I'm the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. You all be safe and you all be kind to one another, folks. We'll see you this Thursday night. Do take care.